Hello, my name is Robert Baranowski. Today I'm going to talk about creating an NSF grant at research.gov. If all of your documents are complete, it doesn't take a terribly long amount of time to complete all of the forms at research.gov. I would still allow at least 2 to 3 hours, maybe a bit more if it's your first time. So it's definitely not a last second thing to do. The website is www.research.gov. And prior to applying, you will need to have a UEI from SAM.gov, a research.gov registration, a research.gov PI or PI profile account, which you will use to enter the information for the grant, and an accepted project pitch from the NSF. Once you log in to research.gov, you will see the proposals button. Click on that and select Prepare and Submit Proposals to open this window here. Once you are on this window, just click Prepare New. And then it's going to ask you what type of work would you like to work on, and you're going to say Full Proposal. On the next page, it's going to ask you what funding opportunity you would like to use. Use the search window to type in SBIR or STTR as is appropriate to your project, and you will see the current SBIR projects available down below. I'm selecting SBIR, or I'm selecting Small Business Innovation Research Grant and SBIR and STTR programs phase 1. And then you will select Next to move on to the next window. Once again, it's going to ask you which program you want to select, whether it's an SBIR or an STTR. I selected SBIR here. I click Next. It's going to show you which one you have selected. And then you click Next to go to the program details. You're going to tell them that your organization is not a sole proprietorship, because sole proprietorships are not allowed to submit for SBIRs and STTRs. And then you're going to put in your proposal title here. You have up to 180 characters for your proposal title, so it should be a descriptive title that tells people what it is you are going to be researching in your grant. And then you click Prepare Proposal to move on. The main screen. The main screen is made up of 3 areas. The top area has the proposal title and other additional information. The lower right has proposal actions that you can undertake with your proposal. And the lower left has the sections of the proposal, otherwise known as the forms that you're going to be completing. These are the forms that are required for an SBIR at the NSF. Most of these forms are actually simply upload pages. So going to one of those upload pages, we'll look at the project summary page. You can see on the left side of the screen, there is a navigation pane that can take you to the other sections of the grant. And it will have a browse button, I should say, where you can open a window on your computer to look for the specific PDF you need. In that browse window, you will select the specific PDF that you need, and it must be a PDF, not a Word document. And then you will click Open. It will say your file has been uploaded successfully in the upper part of the screen, and you will see the file name appear below the Browse button. Please remember that if you need to change a uploaded file because you have an update that you've made to it, you would click the Delete button, and then you would just repeat the same process again. You're going to repeat these steps to upload all of these documents: the project description, the facilities, the references, the budget justification, and the data management plan. For the budget justification, you have to enter your budgets first. And for the data management plan, you'll just use the NSF template. For biographical sketches, remember that you must use the most recent version of the biographical sketch, which can be obtained on this link on the page. The NSF frequently updates their biographical sketches form, and you want to be sure you are using the most recent form, or else you will get an error message. Each key personnel and consultant must have a biographical sketch, a current and pending support document, and a collaborations document. And each of these documents must use the NSF template only, or else you will get a error message, like I said. You can click browse once you have those things saved on your computer, and you can find them for each person. When you need to add new personnel to the grant, you will go to the main page, and you will select Manage Personnel and Subaward Organizations. And you can either add new personnel by clicking Manage Personnel, or you can add a subaward organization by clicking the Add Subaward Organization button. We're going to go into how to add a personnel right now. This is the Add a New Personnel grant. You would just select Enter Personnel by name. You would enter the name on the fields, and then you would click Add Personnel. And then that person will appear on the Manage Personnel screen right underneath the Principal Investigator's name. We're going to talk briefly about how to enter a budget for the NSF. You will, on your budget page, you're going to click on your organizational name to open the budget. You will see the budget page come up, and you will see that there is a running total on the upper right-hand corner that is updated constantly as you are working with this page. The senior personnel that you entered on the previous window will appear under senior personnel. So if you need to give somebody some budget personally, you need to make sure you enter them on using the previous method to do so before you create your budget. The NSF requires the PI to travel to Washington, D.C. for a kickoff meeting, and they recommend a fee of $2,000 per person. The PI could take up to one other person with them on this trip, but there is going to be a travel requirement for every SBIR and STTR grant that is submitted. You will always leave section F of the grant budget empty. You don't use that for SBIRs and STTRs. You do use section G. That's where you put in your materials, your supplies, your publication costs, your consultant services, so on and so forth. And then you will add your indirect costs, which can be up to 40% without raising any eyebrows at the NSF, and your fee. And you should always remember to allocate 7% of the total budget to the fee, because the fee is the most flexible money in the budget. Once you have finished with your budget, you'll click Save, and you can move on to the Phase 1 questionnaire. The Phase 1 questionnaire, the uppermost portion of it, contains information that has been provided to you by the NSF when they responded to your project pitch. They will tell you what topic you are going to be applying to, what subtopic you're going to be applying to, and your project pitch number. The rest of the form contains information on the authorized company officer, the number of full-time employees at the business, and has questions about whether and how many previous Phase 1s and Phase 2s you have had awarded to the small business. Once you complete this form, you'll just click Save, and you will move on to Phase 1 certification questions. The Phase 1 certification questions are yes and no questions. They have radio buttons that you can click to select the correct answer for each one. And these are pretty straightforward. You should be able to figure out which one you should be clicking on each of these just by reading them. And once you're done with this form, we're going to click Save again, and you will be moving on. You'll see that your questions have been successfully saved, and you can move on to letters of support. Letters of support are the last thing we're going to be talking about today. Letters of support are very important for the NSF, and you will want to have about 3 of them if you can. Letters of support are letters from people you may be potentially partnering with, people who may be potentially investing in your company, or potential end users being some of the most important that you can get. You're going to click the browse button to open your search window on your computer, and using the standard upload procedure, you're going to upload a letter. You can browse for up to 2 additional letters, and you should have 3 letters of support for each application, and you can do that by clicking browse for another. That's all we have for today about the NSF process. Additional videos in this series will include obtaining an EIN from the IRS and registration videos about SAM.gov, grants.gov, ERA Commons, research.gov, and DSIP, and then uploading documents to grants.gov and DSIP. If you have additional questions, you can always go to the wisconsinctc.org and click on Learning Opportunities to find additional videos and additional information. They have videos on SBIRs, STTRs, granting agencies, other types of grants, small business management and information, and just a wealth of information available for any small business there. My name is Robert Baranowski. It's been my pleasure to present this information to you today, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you.